Somewhere between space and time, there is a place, the Archive of Awesome. An ancient vault that guards the most amazing stories and myths. Each book, a magical gateway to the paperverse. Let me take you on a journey through the 7 masterpieces. It's time to return to games.
Hello everyone and welcome to A Slice with Strife. I'm of course William Strife, and this is the Book of Demons. Now I don't really understand this system of the paperverse. I don't know if this is coming into a larger component of the game later on down the line. But Book of Demons is the game that I'm playing. I'm imagining that this is a representation of all the games that the developers are going to come up with at some point. I'm imagining that. I don't actually know off the top of my head. But, welcome everyone! Slice with Strife. Haven't done one of these in a while. So, here we go. Now, I've already played this game pretty extensively. If you don't know Slice with Strife, I take a quick look at a game, and then I go ahead and, you know, do some other stuff with it. So, I just basically have a preview of the entire game, give you guys an idea. I want to highlight a good game that I feel that you guys should really give a shot to. So, to that end, I am going to come in. I'm going to make a new warrior, because this is a Diablo-like game. And, so yeah, warrior there. You can play as a rogue, and you can also play as a wizard. You have to unlock these 2 other classes first, though. You have to, I think you have to get your basic warrior up to a level 10 before you're allowed to, you know, actually play the game. So anyways, before the other 2 classes will unlock. So I'm just gonna go ahead and come in here, call myself William. There's a relatively good chance that I called my last character that, but there we go. Start game, and we're gonna play on normal, so it's a relatively good balance. We'll start, we'll take us into the town. And naturally, this is very reminiscent of the original Diablo game from like, I think it was 1997. So the barmaid, right away, she's got something to say to us.
Is that really you? I'm so happy to see you after all this time. It seems like it's been ages since you left our town. I just wish we weren't meeting under such dire circumstances. Back then, it was peaceful. But now, the town is disturbed by a demonic presence that's spreading throughout the land. Most of our friends are gone. Some people fled. Some took their own lives. Some have just vanished. Those who stayed have lost their minds or are too frightened to leave their houses. I'm doing my best to keep everyone's spirits up. But the truth is, we won't survive for long without help. Just don't tell anybody I said that. You must have lots of questions, but I don't have many answers. Talk to the sage if you want to know more. He might be able to help you.
Alright, so that's a little bit of an introduction. I can back out. The barmaid serves plenty of purpose, and the sage here also serves plenty of purpose. I'm going to skip his dialogue, because if you're interested, you can listen to all that. I don't want to waste time listening to the character's gas. So, there we go. Go ahead and do that. I'll come back. So, the general concept of this game is you go into the monastery and you have to kill everything down there. Pretty standard, just like a classic Diablo game. Just like the original Diablo game. And it sets up the first quest for us. We need to find our way down to the cook. And then the second quest is the anti-pope. And then the final quest is the archdemon chilling in hell with his rubber ducky. Oh man, I like this game. I feel that it has a whole lot of charm. So, right off the bat, we want to get started here on level 1. And more or less, this game has simplified a lot of the system.
I am the sword that splits darkness.
Ooh, really? So this game has in a great way, it's simplified the mechanics of the hack and slash Diablo experience. As you can see, there's just a single path here. I can click to move, but I've actually shut that off, so I'm only moving with W, A, S, and D. It means that I don't accidentally move whenever I'm looking to attack, which is a feature down in the menus. You can only travel along this path, which greatly simplifies pathing through dungeons. I find that to be a whole lot of fun. You no longer have to click, 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 click over and over. I just hover my mouse over these little piles of gold, and, you know, they pick up automatically, so I'm not even clicking to pick stuff up. I still have to click, like, chests and whatnot. Also, all of your equipment is replaced with cards, which can be upgraded, and you can find better versions of cards as you go through the dungeon as well. So, if I come in here, these are all of the cards that are available in the game, okay? You can see all of the slots and everything, and each card can be upgraded 3 times, and there are multiple versions of a card, so it's possible to find the same card twice. And the next time that a card drops, it should be in a better quality. Also, there are these little footsteps here that follow me as I go through the dungeon. Once the footsteps turn to gold, it means that I've completely explored that area. What's more, I don't have to repetitiously click my enemies, I just have to hold down left click. So this is very, very player-friendly, okay? Very, very player-friendly. And actually, you know what? I should probably equip that health potion. I'm gonna put it on slot 2, because that's just where it ended up with my first character. And as I continue to defeat all of these enemies, I unlock new gossip, as it were. Alright, so now I just leveled up. That's wonderful, that's fantastic. Also,
I can see that the sanctity of this place has been fouled.
Look at that. Okay, so, as you can see, it'll tell me whenever the level is cleared, and this is a great part, okay? So, you can leave the level by actually finding the stairs like this, and I don't think there's anything stopping you from leaving before defeating all of the enemies, but if you want to find everything, this little circle up here, before it turns into a check mark, it'll be a number, and it'll tell you, oh, like, these are the things that are left on the level. And like I said before, golden footsteps, etc., but even if you don't want to walk your way over to the exit, you can just press that. Simple, really easy. It takes a lot of the tedium out of the dungeon crawling. So, before we go any further, let's go ahead and level up here, because I leveled up. So here's an interesting thing. +1 to mana, or +1 to health. So whenever you increase mana, mana is, you know, you have green mana, which is used to equip artifacts or your cards down on your bar here, and you have to spend money. You have to buy additional card slots from the mage, so that's a purpose of the gold in the game. But also, the mana system. Blue mana is used to cast spells. Green mana is used to equip equipment and whatnot. So, here's another thing. You have to choose between them. More health or more mana. Well, it turns out that you don't actually lose anything. I'm going to go ahead and choose mana, because it's useful for me, and I'm going to keep moving through the dungeon here. But the health that I could have grabbed isn't lost for good. Gotta be careful. Oh, look at that. It's a boss creature. Wonderful. So he's got multiple stages there. So anyways, the life that I chose not to grab has not been actually lost. Instead, it's gone into a cauldron and at the town, and the barmaid can work her skills on that cauldron, and you can get the stuff out of it. So, lots and lots of extra treasures and whatnot go into the cauldron. The catch is that if you die, the contents of the cauldron are completely lost. So that means that, you know, extra life... Don't want to get poisoned by those guys. The extra contents of that cauldron can be lost, which includes the health that ends up in there, which you have to collect. But here's the thing. The stuff in the cauldron, you have to be careful about it, because it costs increasingly more money to brew the cauldron every single time. So basically, I think the first time that you open the cauldron, or the first time that you brew the cauldron and get everything out of it, what do we have here? Oh, it's a spell. It's like a fist or something. So I'll go ahead and equip that. I don't think that I'm going to use it. I much prefer to use passive spells, but the first time that you brew the cauldron, it will cost you about 500 gold, and then I think it goes up to like 1,000 gold, and then it goes up to 5,000 gold, and then to 10,000 gold, and it just continuously gets more expensive. So not only is it more expensive based on how long you wait to brew the cauldron, it's also more expensive the more frequently you brew it. So you're encouraged to do this risk-reward system, as it were, where the longer you wait to brew that cauldron, the more juicy it's going to be, the more rewards and gold you'll get out of it, but the more, but if you die, you lose everything inside of it. All the gold, all the extra health or mana, depending on which one you choose whenever you know, depending on what goes into the cauldron based on what you choose. So anyway. we finished the starting level, and there's this overall ranking that it keeps track of. I've only gotten up to level 4 despite beating the game and moving about halfway through the game with a ranger as well. So, oh, look at that. I got a brand new avatar, which I could change, but that's okay. That's fun. Come on. There you go. Okay, so now I can go back to the village, and let's just do that really quickly here. We've now got the enchantress, or the seer, or whatever. I'm gonna talk to the barmaid, and I'm gonna skip everything that she has to say here.
While you were away.
So right there, she will explain her magic cauldron thing. If I spend 500 gold, I'll be able to get the 1 life out of that cauldron. But there are no prizes in it, there's no mana in it, so there's no real good purpose for me to do this. But that's the idea behind the cauldron. Anything you collect down in the dungeon that you're not going, that you gloss over and whatnot. There are ingredients that you can pick up in the dungeon that will go into this cauldron as well. So that's the idea there. The enchantress, or the fortune teller, I don't remember what her title is. She can take special runes of power, or cards of power, and she can power up the cards that you find. So that's a thing. Anyways, let's go back down to the dungeon and let's begin, because there's another feature here. Now, this flexoscope feature. Yes, thank you very much. So the flexoscope feature, you have to progressively unlock this by playing the game for longer, but pretty simply put, this allows you to change the number of levels that are involved in each version, in each section of the dungeon. This does not determine how many levels it takes to get to the next boss, as you can see right here on the meter. This just determines how many levels you're going to be tackling at once, and you don't have to worry. It's not like it's not going to save your data, but it also influences the number of rewards and the amount of gold that you are guaranteed to get whenever you finally hit that last level. So for the sake of this, I'm just going to go ahead and go through 2 extra levels, because I don't want this to last too long. The episode's already about 12 minutes or so. I don't want to waste you guys' time too much with any of this stuff. But yeah, I picked this game up very, very unexpectedly, in all honesty. So I feel like, God, I have played this game so much, and I actually did get in touch with the developers. I was tweeting about this previously, and they were like, "Hey, we see that you like our game," and they gave me a handful of keys. I gave all of those away over on Twitch. I've played a lot of this game on Twitch already. If you don't know, I stream regularly, usually on around noontime on Saturdays and Mondays, and that's U.S. Central Time if you're interested. So, yeah. Oh, you little piece of... And over time, you continuously get additional things. Ah, right there. That's one of the cool things that you can run into there. Inside of chests and on bookcases and whatnot, as you explore the dungeon, it's possible to find health and mana scrolls, and they actually increase your base, your health and your mana. Now, as it so happens to be, the warrior, he's pretty durable from the outset. He starts out with 10 health, so as a result, he needs a lot of mana to keep up with all of the artifacts that you can end up picking up. And what's more, you can see there are all sorts of things that can happen here. I want to see if I can find another one of these guys. Some of these monsters will have special features. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to get myself poisoned here. There we go. So, I'm poisoned now. That's unfortunate, but you see how the little mouth opened there? If his mouth opens, it means that I can click on it and I can cure poison, so I don't have to keep track of antidote poisons. Like I said, I really like the way that this game plays, because it's managed to take the tedium out of the experience, you know? And what's more, there are all sorts of enemies in the dungeons. Some of them have little shields next to them. Whenever there's a shield next to an enemy, you have to actually hold your cursor over the shield and attack it to break their defense before you can actually damage the enemy, which I find unique and interesting. I mean, as far as clicking goes in games, because let's face it, that's what Diablo and Torchlight and games of the like have really been about. It's been about, you know, clicking the mouse a whole bunch. I like the idea of streamlining the process and improving the experience of just like, yeah, you don't have to, like, let's take the click fest out of this, and let's let's take the loot fest out of this. The fact that you have this enormous amount of tedium where you're just spending hours on end. You know, you're spending hours and hours just selling stuff off back at town. Let's get rid of that, and let's get rid of this experience of like, oh, you have to use the town portal scroll over and over and over, you know? Woo, new gossip in town. Ah. There's also additional weapons that you can find later on in the game, and... oh god, just there's so much, and there's a lot... if you can't tell, I'm a really big fan of this game, and I really like it. So, I highly... yeah, you see? There you go. That guy had a shield. I had to break it down. There we go. Screw you, douche. I should probably, take a bit of a backtrack here and replenish my health. Also, most of these health fountains, they actually refill. And once more, if you want to keep playing with your main character, because there's no way you're going to find all of the cards, all of the power-ups in this game on your first playthrough, it's a really you can continue to play infinitely after you beat the final boss. There's an infinite dungeon at the bottom. Ah, crap. So I've been stunned, so my task now is literally to hover my my mouse cursor over all of those stars. Ah, yeah, get away from me. Oof. Aha. Okay, so right now one of the ways that he will engage with me, he had that ring around him. What I literally had to do, I couldn't hurt him. My whole job was just to just stay within that ring to increase his increase the bar up here. Which, you know, ultimately that's all I'm trying to do. I'm trying to increase the bar to its maximum. So.
Die.
Alright, so there we go. Man, I certainly am leveling up a whole lot. Of course, that's the way that it goes at the start of the game, doesn't it? You know, you level up a whole lot at the beginning. Alright, come on. Let's go ahead and finish this level. It was supposed to be a small section anyway, so I don't think that there's too much for me to do. Yeah, sure enough, here are the stairs out. So... oh, look at that. I think that's a shield card. Oh, no, that's the double strike card. Oh, that is fantastic. Grants an extra attack against an additional opponent in range. So what this will do, because I'm going to equip it right away, this is crazy important. This allows me to attack multiple foes at once. So I'm no longer just attacking one foe at a time. And here, this is ingredients. All of that stuff goes into the cauldron, so now I have 4 prizes that will come out of the cauldron whenever I finally crack it open. I'm gonna go ahead and break all these pots. And there we go! We're done! We finished our very, very small, quick run. And now, we can go ahead and hit go down. Cash out the experience. Woohoo! And we can go ahead and visit the town. I can come over to the mage here.
Few living souls.
Go ahead, just skip all of that. Okay, so now I can unlock a card slot for 2,000. Yes. And like normal, you have to identify cards. But identifying cards takes only gold. So, yeah, there you go. This has been a very quick rundown of the entirety of, the Book of Demons. I love the art style. I love how it's taken, you know, the classic hack and slash Diablo experience, and it's greatly simplified it to the degree that I have more fun with this than I have with the Diablo games, with the Torchlight games. Not that those other games are bad, it's just I really like how this has simplified it and taken the whole experience and put it in a very different light. So, thank you very much for watching, everyone. This has been a Slice with Strife, and I am, of course, William Strife. This is Book of Demons. I highly recommend you check it out over on Steam. Maybe it's available on GOG, and I think that this is also supposed to be available on the Xbox One at some point. But, in any case, thank you very much for watching, everyone. I hope that you enjoyed. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I hope to see you all in another video another time. Catch you later. Bye.